So guys, as you know, the rematch clause between Andy Ruiz Jr. and Anthony Joshua has been exercised, and their rematch will take place later this year. But Tony Bellew has weighed in on why Anthony Joshua has to take this fight next, and what could happen if Joshua were to lose. He had this to say in a statement: "It's the standout fight for the rest of the year as far as I'm concerned. You look at the first fight and how much drama was involved and the size of the upset. You have to wonder what is going to happen next. Not many people gave Andy Ruiz Jr. a chance in the first fight. It'll be different this time around. People now know that he's a serious fighter and someone who has to be respected. Far too much was made of his shape and background last time. So when he actually lets his hands go and showed people what he is about, nobody could believe it. He proved to everyone just how good he is. It'll be interesting to see what happens this winter when they are likely to meet. He's got no choice about where he goes next. We saw how hard he fought to get to the top of the heavyweight division. He did so by beating good men. He doesn't start again just because he lost. Anthony is a world-class fighter with a world-class team. What he has to do next is go away and learn from his mistakes. He needs those titles back. If Ruiz goes into a fight with Deontay Wilder and someone has all 4 belts, Joshua is in a position where he could be potentially frozen out of the world title picture, and he won't want that." So that is what Tony Bellew has had to say about Anthony Joshua and his rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr. and the reason why he must take it next. And I agree, and I think everyone will agree, Anthony Joshua has to take this rematch, and he is going to. The rematch clause has been activated, so he is going to go into that fight. But the reason why he must is because all of the belts will be on PBC. Never worry about Andy Ruiz Jr. fighting Deontay Wilder. As long as the belts are on PBC, it's going to be hard for any matchroom fighter, or any other fighter really who is not on PBC or affiliated with them, to get a world title shot. It seems to be that way. Boxing politics has always been a problem and got in the way of big fights. But it seems to now more than ever. We have seen that with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. That fight should have been made already. Everyone wants to see that fight. The demand was crazy, but the fight never happened. Maybe it will someday, but it looks doubtful whether the fight will ever happen, and that is down to boxing politics. The same reason why Anthony Joshua has to take this rematch, because he has Andy Ruiz Jr. with his arm behind his back. Andy Ruiz Jr. cannot legally go and fight anyone else, but if he could, he for sure would. He would never give Anthony Joshua a rematch if there wasn't a clause there, because all of the belts would be on PBC. And Al Heyman would make sure that Anthony Joshua did not get an opportunity. And if Anthony Joshua were to lose to Andy Ruiz Jr. again, then the same thing will happen. He will freeze him out completely. But anyway, that's too pessimistic for me, because I believe that Anthony Joshua will win his belts back. And that is why he is going into the rematch, because he knows what went wrong. He said it was his mental state. It wasn't physical, it was mental. He didn't want to be fighting Andy Ruiz Jr. He wanted to be fighting Jarrell Miller, who he had a lot of animosity for. And maybe even Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. Those are the fights he wanted, not Andy Ruiz Jr. But this time, he wants to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. He will prepare for him, and that is who he wants to fight, because he wants to win his world heavyweight titles back, and he wants to do it in style, and make everyone realise that it was just an off night for him and become 2-time heavyweight champion. Then he can start talking about those big fights again. As Eddie Hearn has said before, this is the first time for Anthony Joshua since probably the Vladimir Klitschko fight, where this is the only fight that is being talked about. We are not really talking about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, or Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. We're talking about Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr., the rematch. That is the most important fight in the heavyweight division at this stage. But guys, what are your thoughts on this? Tony Bellew's comments about Anthony Joshua and why he must take this rematch and why he must win. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, click the thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.